Starting 11 lining up for their team picture, and you'll notice in goal and wearing number 1 is Gianluca Pagliuca as the referee waits at midfield. The referee is Sandor Pool from Hungary, the linesman from Australia and Belgium. Andoni Zubizarreta, the captain and goalkeeper for the Spaniards, in his 90th, a team record 90th cap international for Spain.
And coming off an exceptional game against Switzerland, he made key saves that kept the Spanish team in the game, and it was a 3-0 victory, but Zubizarreta certainly was outstanding in that particular match.
Paolo Maldini, the captain for Italy. As we take a look now at the starting 11 for Arrigo Sacchi, and all the changes. Donadoni's in, Conte's in. It's really restructured, isn't it?
It is, but it looks as though he's going to be playing Donadoni on the right side. But the key is, you know, if Massaro and Baggio can work together. And as I say, Baggio, to my mind, is not a front player. Doesn't play well with his back to goal. He's better in a deeper position. We'll see how it works today, but it's certainly going to be a fascinating tactical battle, and they know each other so well, both teams, from previous encounters at the club level.
These changes that he's made, Bobby, are you in agreement with them, or is this, as we said before, maybe let's look at the starting 11 for Spain? And the one that surprises us is that Hierro is not starting for them in midfield.
Hierro's not, that is a surprise. In this Spain team, I like the fact that they do like to get wide. They have two players in Enrique and Goycochea who are both comfortable on the flanks. Their fullbacks like to come forward. And if they do as well as they're capable of, they're going to cause the Italians some problems.
And of course, don't be confused, number 12 is Sergi, and that's the name he goes by. As you look at Signori on the bench, and that is the biggest substitution for the Italians. So we're ready to go now. The winner to Final Four from Foxborough. It is Italy against Spain. USA 94. The World Cup is here on TSN. Ryan Moore, Ron Atkinson.
Always ready to start this quarterfinal. Spain in the white strip. Italy, in fact, in a new style shirt today. A slightly darker one by the look of it. And we are really high here above this stadium, actually at Foxborough, about 45 minutes outside Boston. And the referee just waited to get the signal from the touchline that I presume that all the television networks had joined, and we're away. Vaquera for Spain. And a quick early touch. Oh, I thought Zubizarreta was going to get a touch there, but Nadal denied him that. Done so well, the Spaniards, and they are very quick starters. They've in all the 4 games they've played, they've always been in the lead, scored the first goal, and in 3 of the last 4 games they've scored them in the first 20 minutes. Dino Baggio to Maldini, a little touch back there to Costa Curta. Maldini playing normally at left back, playing of course at centre back. Very good break here by the Italians. And a corner to Italy. A good break there by Benarivo.
Well, and he did that for fun against Nigeria. I made him the best player against Nigeria. Made a lot of those breaks down the left-hand side. Played him beautifully there, but he will be very, very effective if he keeps attacking Ferreira on that side of the field.
Watch Dino Baggio from this sort of situation. It's Donadoni with the corner. They played it a lot wider towards Roberto Baggio. Tassotti, Costa Curta, and all the way back to Pagliuca. I should have mentioned, of course, that he's back in the side after suspension. Marchigiani loses his place, but Pagliuca was the first choice on the opening day. Massaro a little slack there. Luis Enrique. Oh, Enrique still waiting in the middle there, and in the end it was Maldini with the header that finally got Italy out of a spot of bother. Will Sergi, who makes some great surging runs down this left with the throw for Spain. Otero to Nadal. Baquero. Nadal again, swept wide once more to Sergi. Otero. A really misty start to the day. In fact, when we arrived here, there's a challenge there. It was a fierce one by Abelardo on Roberto Baggio. Well, the referee, in fact, it's a yellow card for Abelardo. Ron?
Yeah, he went in fierce. I mean, my first reactions are, Brian, that he didn't go in over fierce. You know, that he didn't infringe anything. The referee's bang on the spot there, and they are booking people for fun these days.
He actually, this referee from Hungary, I think has been a little more cautious about throwing yellow cards around than most of his compatriots.
Yeah, in all fairness, he's right there. He has gone in very, very high.
Well, Baggio, of course, Dino Baggio is one they can ill afford, but of course, once you get treatment, the stretchers come on and you have to go off if you don't, as you well know. And as we found earlier in this competition, if you try to get off or you start playing the old soldier, you get a yellow card. But I hope, certainly for Italy's sake and for the game's sake, that Baggio is back very shortly. In the meantime, it's Bellarivo again. And a shot that goes away over the top from Daniel Massaro.
That was a brilliant effort, wasn't it? Out of nothing, really. No real problems. Defenders or end tosses is a bit like Klinsmann did in one of the earlier games. Fortunately, he doesn't have the same end product as Klinsmann had.
The sun beginning to break through here. Baggio's back on the field. Cheers from the Italian fans. Sergi. And Conti is fouled. It's a free kick to Italy. Taken by Italy's oldest player, Tassotti. 34 years old. Didn't win his first cap for Italy until he was 32. Bellarivo running out of pitch on the far side there, but the throw goes... No, it's going to be a free kick taken very quickly there for Italy by Bellarivo. Spain quick to make these breaks. Bellarivo again. Good solid back four there for Italy at the moment. Nice and assured. Here's Otero. Sergi. And Caminero unable to pick that one up. There's Sergi. It's Ron.
They're just looking at Alcorta. Normally he's played as virtually a centre-back with a sweeper behind him. At the moment now it looks as if he's been given the responsibility to track Baggio, Roberto Baggio that is, if he goes into that little semi-position just off the front. And of course Abelardo will go in Massaro, and Dell will just sit out as the insurance man at the back. I wondered, looking at the Spanish side, I mean, you've got some very creative midfield players. They're attack-minded, like Caminero, Baquero and Sergi. I just wondered how they were going to sort of try and accommodate as somebody in there anchoring, and that looks as if that's how they're going to do it.
Maldini getting it wide to Bellarivo. You've not been that impressed by Maldini so far?
No, funnily enough, I thought in the European Cup final he was magnificent. He came over here, I thought, with the reputation as possibly the best left-back in the world, and hasn't played well, and in fact, really, he's very lucky to be playing in this game. You know, I think he should have been sent off in the previous game against Nigeria.
It's a goal kick for Spain. Really shade And talking about the European Cup final, shades, undertones really of this European Cup final between Milan and Barcelona. 6 Milan players in the Italian side, 6 from Barcelona in the Spanish side. Milan, of course, won that 4-0. Abelardo, cut out by Tassotti. Sergi. Luis Enrique finding Baquero. So there, a little Ferrer on the far side. Pagliuca with the catch. And Albertini. Tassotti. Talking about the first time that Spain have really been able to have everybody available. Zubizarreta, of course, missed the opening game through suspension. Nadal was sent off, I think it was in the first game, and Caminero picked up 2 yellow cards. So right through this competition, they've always had somebody they haven't been able to pick until today.
It's also Clemente brought a squad out here, very, very short on forward players, natural forward players. No Butragueño, no Manolo. Just basically Salinas and Luis Enrique get the single-man job up front.
But for all that, 9 goals, matched so far only by Sweden. Otero. Caminero getting it back to Nadal. Maldini is sticking there with Goycochea, who'd come in away from that right flank. Sergi with the throw. Goycochea. And a corner then for Spain. Sergi will take. Luis Enrique in there. Caminero is in there, number 15. He's got a couple of goals already in this tournament. Hit long towards big Nadal, but there was a bit of shoving by him and a free kick to Italy. Sun trying now to poke its way through. The floodlights actually are on, believe it or not, even though it's just a quarter past midday. And the promises of a really hot and sticky afternoon, and with thunderstorms which we've had in the Boston area, in fact, for the last 2 or 3 days. And looking at one of the weather forecasts, they actually summarized it as saying sticky, sticky, bang, bang. So hot and humid and thunderstorms. But let's hope that holds off for a little while at any rate. Baggio trying to get in there again. Conte doing well. Albertini's in there too, but good defending again. I think it was big Nadal got up there to get that one away. Sergi hustled off the ball here by Tassotti. Some excellent play there by Luis Enrique, coming back to retrieve the ball and get possession for Spain. Baquero. Goycochea. Ferrer on the far side. Luis Enrique through the middle. Onside? No, offside.
Well, they've done that a few times. They did the Italian side in the tournament. They did it in the early game, particularly against Ireland. They didn't play it very well, stepping up on people. It's the Sacchi thing when he was at Milan. They are offside there, but I always think that's a dangerous game, particularly when when Spain don't really leave a player up the field, where players run from deep areas. And certainly Spain against Switzerland showed themselves to be very, very good at breaking offside traps down.
Sergi. Luis Enrique supporting him. Conte getting back to try and stick a foot in for Italy. But Otero with a good break. I think it was Luis Enrique who played that ball into him, but it's too high for Goycochea. Benarivo allows it to go over his head and plays the little ball forward, but gives it away, not anywhere near Donadoni then. Nadal again.
Some very poor play there in that little spell, wasn't there? Some top players giving the ball away for nothing, not under any real pressure on it.
18 is Alporta, who's, as one saying, might well have a key job of watching Roberto Baggio. Pagliuca way out of his goal. hits it long. Massaro chasing it. Nadal again, it looks as though he's going to be a really big barrier there to beat down this afternoon. Albertini trying to get Massaro with his red boots away on the far side. Donadoni. Dino Baggio. Will he try to get Tassotti in here? Otero gets there first, but it comes off the Spaniard, I think, for a corner.
Yes, if you look through at both sides, the main way of making any width is through their fullbacks, and they've got people on both sides who are very, very capable of making wing breaks.
Roberto Baggio with the corner. Is there, and I think it was Luis Enrique. No, it wasn't Caminero who eventually got the header in here. Here's Luis Enrique. Another break again for Spain. Surges on this side, and in the end it's Maldini who gets in to hold things up, to hold off Caminero and provide Spain with a corner. Ron?
That's something against Switzerland, you know. Very often Switzerland had a lot of free kicks and a lot of corners late in the game against Spain, and it invariably finished up with Spain nearly scoring. They do break very, very quickly. Luis Enrique stays up the field, and he's capable of picking it up himself and running great distances with the ball.
So here comes the corner. It was Massaro who got that away. Luis Enrique. No foul. Here's Massaro. Nadal shadowing him. Roberto Baggio is in the middle. Baggio! And off the way in the end by Ferrer. A terrific break there by the Italians. Spearheaded in the first place by Daniel Massaro. Baggio made tremendous strides through the middle.
Great play there, but he really should have got more on it. He's always at stretch. I thought he took a long time, whether it's something to do with the knock he's just had. He seemed to take a long time to make up the ground here. At that stage, I thought he should have been on top of the ball, and he seemed to be struggling for pace.
A corner for Italy. Maldini's right in the box there. It was Zubizarreta's fist that got it clear. Tassotti alone at the back for Italy. And Ferrer, who got that important block in for Spain. And they get it up to Caminero. Goycochea. Vaquero. Nadal. Ooh, beaten away by Dino Baggio to Roberto Baggio. Massaro. An offside flag is up against Dino Baggio.
No, you're wrong there, old son. The referee, the linesman was spot on there. Only a yard, but it was that important yard. Nice little ball in. He's continuing his run, and Massaro plays a one-touch ball. He's just fractionally off it. Dino Baggio may possibly have held his run a little bit there.
Nadal hits it long. That's a curious ball. Spaniards, in fact, have had 3 days more rest come into this game than the Italians, which really in these conditions of heat, that is quite important. Spaniards played Switzerland last Saturday. And Italy, of course, played on Tuesday against Nigeria, a match that actually took them into extra time as well. So their period of recovery has been a lot less than the Spaniards.
And played for close on an hour with 10 men, didn't they?
And played for close on an hour with 10 men.
Which makes you wonder what may happen in the latter stage of this game.
Correct.
But to be fair, Italy have looked busy. They've looked as if they want to play the sort of pressing game that Sacchi employed a lot when he was at Milan, with people trying to hurry the ball and make sure other players can't dwell on it, make sure the Spanish players can't dwell on it.
Paolo Maldini playing centre-back, of course, because Baresi is badly injured and will take no further part in this tournament. Massaro played it to Albertini. Roberto Baggio offside again. Scored a couple of goals, of course, against Nigeria, and won himself for that, believe it or not, 1,000 bottles of wine from an Italian restaurateur, did Roberto Baggio.
I'll tell you what,
scoring
Brian,
2 goals.
And that is close. That was a close decision, that. He was just about. I mean, you might say full marks to the defender stepping up on him, but I think he was playing a risk game then.
You weren't impressed by that bit of information about the 1,000 bottles of wine then?
I wasn't too impressed about the Spanish defender stepping up.
It's Nadal. To Baquero. Busy little man for the midfield for Barcelona and for Spain. Luis Enrique trying to get Sergi down the left flank.
Does that well, the little five. Saki is having to go at his defenders for checking off and letting him run at them with the ball. But he's capable of going on the inside. He favours his right foot. And that was well worth a try.
Seeing Saki there, Italian managers always under pressure, whatever the results it seems. And they recently had a poll in Italy, and 84% of those asked thought Saki should be sacked. Here's his side, actually, in the quarter-final of the World Cup.
You can imagine his name lending itself to some headlines, can't you?
Nadal, well, they were in two minds there. Zubizarreta starting to come and then didn't. And in the end, it's a goal kick. But a distinct lack of communication there, particularly between Nadal and Zubizarreta. Here's Otero. And Costa Curta with the defensive header for Italy. Conte. Only played one international before today and gets bowled over there. That's a yellow card too. For Caminero, who's only just got back from suspension for 2 yellow cards. Ron?
They're just thinking once he's,
yes.
I mean, that's a bad one.
Oh,
that's a very stupid, petulant.
I mean, how can you, when you know the way referees are, and you could see the referee was, what, a yard or 2 yards off him, to do that is absolutely balmy.
In the meantime, it's Benarivo. Well, he's a very tolerant man, Shandor Pool, I think, the Hungarian referee. You can think of other referees in this tournament, and I'm not always backing them. I think they've had an impossible job. FIFA having put their hobnail boots on again and their bully boy tactics, but I can think of referees here that would have given a red for that. Oh, there's some good play there by Goicoechea. Caminero, and quite easily saved there by Pagliuca.
Well, in the last 2 minutes, we've just seen the best and worst of Caminero, haven't we? Stupid booking, a great crossfield pass before that, and quite a good shot from a distance.
Costa Curta. Benarivo. Up to Massara. And Abelardo. Jockey. Feedback circle. Up towards Massara, beaten in the air though, Baquero. But in fact there was a foul and a free kick to Italy. Massaro's up there waiting. It goes now for Benarivo. Cross there towards Conti. But there's a foul by the Italian. It'll be a free kick to Spain. Nadal. Little back error coming deep. And a foul which gives Italy a free kick.
Yes, at the moment, Spain have sat in there, haven't you? You just wonder whether Clementi's a fox, pays a lot of attention to tactics, might be saying, keep the game going as long as we can, thinking that Italy could well sort of run out of steam late in the game.
Nadal hitting it forward. Costa Curta knocking it back. Pagliuca with the clearance. Can Conti keep it in play? He can't. It's the throw to Spain. Free kick to Spain. Nadal. Abelardo. A nice little chip by him, but Maldini met that well. In fact, the Spaniard Luis Enrique must have been backing into Maldini. It's a free kick with Albertini. Massaro's made a break down the middle. He's got himself a yard of space. Maldini, or rather Albertini, couldn't pick him up, and it's a goal kick to Spain. Hasn't quite taken off this one, has it?
No, I think a lot of that's due to the fact that the Spanish team haven't really, whether it's a belief or whether they're just saying let's play and peg at the thing. Italy, for me, have looked less nervous than they've done in many of the games they've opened. They've looked fairly compact, fairly sharp, and have possibly had a couple of decent chances.
Massaro now for Italy. Picks up Dino Baggio. Donadoni, we've not seen a lot of him so far. Dino Baggio again. Oh, terrific goal! Dino Baggio!
Oh, what about that one? Super strike. A little bit of holding the ball up on the left-hand side, Donadoni. Didn't toss the ball into the box. Picks out Dino Baggio. One touch, and he's rifled at him. That's as good a strike. That's a magnificent strike. There you see again, once again, Donadoni's done very well. He hasn't just thrown the ball away aimlessly. He set Dino Baggio up, and Dino Baggio doesn't need too much inviting for that sort of shot.
Now let's see.
Dino Baggio's goal. His second of the '94 World Cup.
Normally Spain have had the best of starts, but in this particular game, they're on the wrong end of it. Whereas most of the games I've been watching Italy, they've been sort of having to chase the game.
A throw then to Spain.
Doesn't wake Spain up, Brian, nothing's going to, because they certainly really haven't got out the blocks at all.
Abelardo. Well, it was Roberto Baggio, who did all the business in the previous game. Dino, no relation. He's done the business in this one. Up goes Luis Enrique Pagliuca.
A good deep cross, deep into the box. There comes the attacking midfield player coming in round the back. Can't get enough on it.
Sergi. Vaquero again. Made life difficult for Abelardo there. Nadal playing it wide again for little Sergi. Vaquero. He won't stop working. And they get it away again through Maldini.
He's far happier defending that side of the field, Maldini, when things are coming down his left-hand side. Earlier in the game, they dragged him out into behind his right-back area, and he had a lot of problems. I think on balance as well, Brian, I certainly think the goal was... I certainly think if anybody was entitled to the lead, it would be Italy.
Luis Enrique after this. Camanero's waiting in the middle. They get a corner, yes. Came off Benarivo. There's the man who scored that terrific goal. He's got one or two very important ones for Italy. It was his, of course, in the last qualifying game against Portugal, with just 7 minutes left that put Italy through to these World Cup finals. And way over the top there by Abelardo.
Dino Baggio has put Italy in front midway through the first half.
Not just anyone, for all, for wandering into an understandable world where I find that everywhere we're going together. Why? Because I am.
Years old, used to play for Atletico Bilbao. Did you run up against him, Ron, during your time in Spain with Atletico Madrid?
Yeah, with a couple of brushes. He's a very, very...
Oh, there's some good play here, and it's continues. Oh, a great ball through by Roberto Baggio. And Conte, who's played only one international, and that was before this World Cup against Finland.
Looks nervous here, though. He's got the chance of taking on it, probably preferring it down his right-hand side.
Could have been a real hero there, though. But what a great ball from Roberto Baggio. Here's Massaro. Albertini. And a corner. I interrupted you. We're talking about Clemente.
About Clemente, I see. He's a bit of an abrasive character. Somebody likened him at the start of the show to Cloughy. I think one of the first games I was out there, we beat his team 6-1, and he was, he spent all the time telling the press how lucky we were. He also did the same when we went back and beat them 4 in the second match.
Well, here's a corner for Italy against Clemente's Spanish side. Donadoni with it. Spain get that away, not very comfortably, up towards Luis Enrique.
They look more like a team today, Italy, don't they? I thought when the lineup came out, it looked a balanced side. I mean, I like it when they can get Dino Baggio, and he's had to miss games with injury, but he's something a little bit different in the Italian way of playing. He's a great thruster, if you like, in the middle of the field.
Another break could be on for Spain. Luis Enrique is waiting here for it. Goycochea on the far side. Been taking that from Caminero, and that's an easy one for Gianluca Pagliuca. Still playing, buzzing around here. Ferrer, the fullback. And
and it's Italy's ball.
Certainly the Spanish best moments appear to be when they get Caminero around the edge of the penalty box. He's a fairly tall guy for a midfield player, and he gets in the box very well. Once or twice, when they toss it in from wide positions, it's him really they're looking to get on the end of headers. He's had one header that he's just knocked down into the keeper's hands, but 2 or 3 other occasions, right, he's always looking to get in at the back of the Italian defence. If they have a problem, aren't the best in the air, I don't think. I don't think they're great at the heart of the defence when the ball's upstairs.
The World Cup final comes up on Sunday week, tomorrow week, in Los Angeles. You'll have a chance to be there, another chance to win our competition at half-time. So stay on and make sure you enter that. Get the views of Jack and of Dennis on this first half as well with Matt.
You know, I don't know if it's psychological, you know, but you're looking at Italy. They look compact now as a side, better than I've seen them in the tournament. Not playing great, but they're looking compact. But they're in that famous blue strip, aren't they?
Yes.
Somehow other teams look right when they're in the...
Oh, that back header there from Maldini. Just reach Pagliuca.
He'll tell you there was no problem. No problem. Quietly confident.
But it's so often that teams do find their most effective formation as World Cup campaigns go along. I suppose really that was the case with England in '66. I mean, Geoff Hurst didn't start that campaign, and certainly it was the case of England in 1990 with Bobby Robson when we got to the semi-final. I mean, the side that played in the semi-final there bore no resemblance whatsoever to the opening game. And slowly they formulated a side here. Italy have.
Well, these had a nightmare in Spain, didn't they?
Absolutely.
The first 3 games.
And the one criticism of Sacchi, or at least one of the main criticisms, is that he does chop and change too much. Well, maybe now he's chopped and changed and has at last found a formation that he's happy with and the players are happy with. Massaro. Pino Baggio's pass to Roberto not coming off. Luis Enrique being hustled by Maldini. Benarivo making a long clearance. Nadal to Alcorta. Now to Abelardo. Alcorta.
Oh, a good break here by Pereira.
Luis Enrique just got a touch on it, and strangely that touch of his might just have put the ball out of the way of Sergi, who was piling in on the far side. But a good break by the Spaniards.
Yeah, this is when they're the most effective. Ferrer bombing down the right, curls in a superb ball. There we see Sergi just has the ball deflected out of his run. But you look again, you see the big fella in there again. Caminero trying to join the Spanish attack. I tell you, if it stays like this at half-time, the Spanish dressing room will be quite noisy at half-time. I can guarantee that. There's one thing they haven't done. All right, they've fluttered a little bit now. They've lifted the tempo a little bit in these last few minutes. They really never got to grips with the game.
Sweeping it wide again towards Otero, but Conti is there. And now Dino Baggio. Benarivo. Dino Baggio once again. It's Benarivo. Ooh. Allowed to go a long way. Donadoni on the far side. The cross coming in. Roberto Baggio being faced by Otero. With the throw. About 8 minutes to go to the interval now. Italy leading by a goal to 0. Tassotti. And the referee going to one of the benches. Too much coaching from the sidelines, maybe. From the Spanish bench. Conti does really well there. Massaro's waiting in the middle. But the flag had gone up, the whistle had gone. A free kick to Spain.
I think the other thing you'll do, Brian, as well, Clemente, if it stays like this, I think you'll say to Ferrer, keep gambling, start making runs all the while from the back. Because Donadoni is a great creative player, but will not fancy having to track his fullback all the way back.
Ferrer of Barcelona on the far side to his Barcelona teammate, Baquero. Luis Enrique chasing this. Benarivo in very quickly for Italy. Sergi has gone through the middle there. This is Goycochea. And they get a throw. Things up again with Albertini in very quickly for Italy. Roberto Baggio, a back heel, and a dangerous thing to do in that particular situation, but Luis Enrique couldn't.
It's a much different Italian side we're seeing. They lead 1-0 over Spain.
In my country, England that is, it's called football.
Funky, funky, I am a joker!
No refs, no rules, no coaches, just the players and the ball.
Funky, funky, I am a junkie. Funky, funky, I am a junkie.
I think what the Italians are doing well, that's the area I think they've got to try and hit, but with more quality than that, and try and get Ferrer or Goycochea bowling down that right-hand side. I think what the Italians are doing well, you know, they're making them play from midfield back into their defensive line. And they're quite happy then, the Italians. They all sit behind the ball and fill in spaces and say, go on, keep it, let Nadal have it, let Alcorta have it. They can't hurt you from there. I think when they do build up, people like Baquero, people like Caminero have got to look forward quicker. They've got to try and play the quicker balls into the front line. And then, in fact, join them, Brian. Because certainly the most effective way they've got of scoring at the moment looks to when Caminero comes into the box late.
Up to Massara. Albertini. Massara. Roberto Baggio. Massara. No, just ball was held up there for a moment. Here's Otero, the number 3 for Spain. Goycochea's made the little break. Benarivo went with him and gets the ball back from Donadoni. Massaro couldn't quite get the better there of Abelardo.
As the tournament's progress, you know, I think that's one of the things from a team point of view has come much better for the Italians. The link-up and the combinations between Roberto Baggio and Daniel Massaro. They're now almost telepathic, and you know, if they get through this one again, I know that they'll have another hard semi, but you can see an understanding developing there that perhaps wasn't there in the earlier games.
They look a lot happier as a combination. I mean, it was a terrific performance by Ireland in New York right at the start of this tournament. But they caught the Italians and they played really well. But this is a different Italian side now, playing with a lot more composure and compactness. And they're obviously very comfortable in the way they're playing and the system they're playing, and with the personnel. First time, incidentally, they've scored in the first half of the game.
That's what I say. Normally, they've been chasing again. They've shown a lot of character, haven't they, in certain games? Not always played well, but they've stuck at the thing. And it's also a different ball game for Spain. They've normally been in the box position by now.
Masaro. Flick back to Costa Curta. Albertini. He's only 22, winning his 20th cap today, and he's won so much already in that short career. It's Albertini. And it'll be a free kick for Italy.
That's a reckless challenge by Alcorta. Actually, Roberto Baggio's kidded him there. He's teased him into committing a foul there, taking the short pass from Albertini.
Interesting to see who takes a free kick here. Albertini has got a fantastic free kick. I saw a goal he scored for Milan against Monaco in the semi-final of the European Cup, which is as good a free kick goal as I saw last season. But maybe Roberto Baggio feels in the mood as well. 4 in the wall there. Zubizarreta behind them. And his 91st cap today, the goalkeeper. Looks like it's going to be Roberto Baggio. Might try just a little floater. Worrying times these for the Spaniards, though. They certainly wouldn't want to go in 2 down. Conti has joined the Spanish wall. And it's hit wide by Roberto Baggio. Zubizarreta, 86 World Cup, 90 World Cup, 94 World Cup, and the goalkeeper there not in the least bit troubled by that.
They've actually been a bit disappointing, Italy, in their direct shots on goal on free kicks. Signori wasted 2 or 3 the other day, hit them straight at the wall.
Caminero, stopped by Dino Baggio. He's been a real powerhouse through those middle areas for Italy in this competition.
I think in his way, Brian, he's been as important to Italy as Roberto.
Baquero trying to get Ferrer in on the far side there. Baquero. Otero. No foul.
It's funny how you have different viewpoints on players. I'm looking at Baquero there for Spain. He's sitting as the hub of the midfield. Everything comes through him, plays 1 and 2 touch, just knocks it up nice and bright. Here he's getting possession. But I always think he's far more dangerous when he's attacking the box area.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. He's taking an easy role there at the moment, it seems.
I mean, they've got a lad who's not playing today, Guardiola, who does that job brilliantly as well as anybody in the tournament.
Benarivo, he makes some good breaks forward. Costa Curta, he mustn't go too far forward. Tassotti. Conti's going outside him, as you can see.
Yeah, they're not going to chase it at the moment, Italy. They're perfectly happy with the situation as it is. They'll take it if it comes, but at the moment they're just prepared to make sure that Spain get little or no encouragement.
Donadoni on that far side. Here's a good break. Pull back, but straight to Zubizarreta.
That's a great break. He does that brilliantly, Benarivo. He really does come on brilliantly. But he's got to get back now, Brian. He's got 80 yards of the pitch to get back.
Indeed.
Donadoni's filled in at left back for him at the moment. But once again, the Spanish...
Fortunately for
Italy, taking too long to build up.
Exactly, and they were building down the other side of the field as well. Caminero. Luis Enrique losing the ball. Dino Baggio going for it. 4 of them going for it there. And in the end, Nadal's brought down by Conti.
Which I suppose in the context of the way the game has gone in terms of bookings, he's probably lucky not to get a card for that.
Well, it'd be nice to know that referees have calmed down a little bit from the last week or 2. Otero. And that came off Roberto Baggio. It's a corner for Spain. We played some 90 seconds of time added on.
But even now there's a reluctance from the big Spanish players to get in the box. Like they've had to call Nadal up, and he's arguably the biggest guy on the field.
Well, he's arrived there now, and it's Nadal taking it on his chest, being hustled there by Maldini.
But Brian, you would think at this stage of a quarter-final of a game of this importance, to be able to restrain him from getting up there, chasing the game.
They have an attitude problem at the moment.
Yeah, one of the things that's leveled against the Spanish is the mentality thing. Obviously, Clementi's gone away. He's gone for what he calls strong-minded players, and at the moment, they're having their problems.
And Clementi will give a strong-minded talk to those players in white, I would have thought, at half-time. As Italy go in, leading by Dino Baggio's goal. 1-0 to Italy is the half-time situation here in Foxborough, near Boston.
It is a much different Italian side, and as you can see, Dino Baggio saying too early to celebrate. He has the only goal of the game to put Italy in front. USA 94, the World Cup on TSN.
Cup so far.
Unprecedented World Cup crowds continue to be the story. No different today at Foxborough in Massachusetts, sold out, with Italy leading Spain by the score of 1-0. We take you back to the 26th minute of the first half with some great ball movement and a little deception by a superstar.
That's right. This actually is just a pass made to a supporting player. Donadoni playing it into Dino Baggio. Now watch right in the middle of our screen, Roberto Baggio running diagonally as he stopped right there on top of the penalty area and causes potentially just a split second that goalkeeper Zubizarreta cannot see the ball, and Dino Baggio blasts it from a distance, and boy is he happy, as we see here.
So now the youngest team in this World Cup, the team representing Spain, needs a goal. Roberto Baggio has been so dangerous with Daniele Massaro up front. He did play a role in that goal as Rick Dave.
Times demand meter.
Ready to start the second half at Foxborough. There's the whistle. Let's rejoin Brian Moore and Ron Atkinson.
He's on the ball at the moment, trying to get it through to Massara. Ron and I just quickly going through the Italian side now to see who he's replaced. But there he is, the little man who's such a prolific scorer in Italy. And Conti on the break there. It might be Albertini, who's gone off from midfield. He seemed to have quite an effective first half, so maybe he picked up a knock somewhere along the way. But here he is, Signori, and Albertini, who's got off. You've got a vested interest in Mr. Signori, Ron, haven't you?
I had 20 to 1 before the tournament started. I thought it was a decent odds to finish up top scorer in the tournament. He's done very well.
You're very good.
He's about 6 behind the leaders.
He's played over 300 minutes and hasn't scored yet.
To be fair, he doesn't like playing where he's got to play now. He's having to play up this left-hand side, basically as a left-hand striker or left winger almost, and he doesn't like that. He prefers to play in the field a little bit more as a second striker, but of course with Massaro and Baggio, they're happy at that. Also means, of course, they've got to put Donadoni in the centre, the heart of their midfield. And to be fair, in the early games, he's not looked over effective there. Nice when he's got the ball, but not a great resistance level. So there's a big thing on Baggio. That's, you know, Baggio's going to have to supply all the aggression in there.
Dino Baggio. Wars of approval from the Italian fans. This is Sergi. Running into trouble in the shape. Maldini. Massaro. Abelardo now for Spain.
I just wonder how long it'll be before Clementi thinks about bringing Julio Salinas on. You know, he's not the prettiest of footballers, but he's strong, and sometimes you wonder about the heart of the Italian defence when there's a bit of physical presence being put on them.
It's a free kick to Spain now.
But he hasn't got that many options, Brian. As I said earlier in the game, he's virtually restricted himself by the choice of players he's brought out here.
Ferrer. He's one who likes
team spirit and togetherness, the family spirit in his side, doesn't he? Strict discipline and so on. And he always looks, it seems, with a certain suspicion on high flyers and flair players and so on, you know?
Yeah, and I suppose that's why the absence of, in the last year or so, the absence of so many Real Madrid players. You know, I mean, Real Madrid, most clubs have a way of playing. Real Madrid have their way of playing, which tends to produce, if you like, the more technical players. People like Michel and, well, Butragueño, I think's gone past the post now, but...
And that was a poor ball there by Tassotti. It gave Conte no chance of running onto it. Otero picks it up now. Abelardo gets it forward.
I think they've missed Hierro a lot, you know. I think he's got that thrust from midfield that they drive, they seem to be lacking at the moment.
Hierro?
Yes. Yes. And they can also weigh in, as we saw against Switzerland, he can also get a goal.
It's Otero with the throw for Spain, with Italy still leading 1-0. Chip in there, quite easily met by Maldini. Massaro lying a little deep there for the moment. It's the ball which Baggio is chasing. Two buzzing around him though, beaten by sheer weight of numbers. It was a ball from Donadoni that set Baggio on his way. Now Becerra still playing that rather, well, I don't know about negative, but he's certainly not in the positions where it really hurts and where he can hurt other people.
See, Brian, when he's playing for Barcelona, Cruyff encourages that one-touch passing.
So let me see what I can see here with Luis Enrique. Otero stopped by Tassotti. Sorry, Ron.
Yeah, he'll drop the ball off, but at no given time today has he played a one-touch pass and sprinted.
That's right.
He just played and stood. But when he's playing for Barca, he's passing it and then going and joining in very quickly.
Nadal trying to do a Dino Baggio. Goal kick to Italy. Sides have met as nations in this sort of in international games. 22 meetings. Italy with 8 wins. The Spaniards with 6. The only time they've ever met before in the World Cup, we go right back to 1934 for that one, when Italy won by 1-0 after a replay. So the Italians looking to stretch this lead of victories over Spain 9-6. If they can hold this one-goal lead and go into the semi-finals of the 1994 World Cup. Here's Becerra. Now he is making his little move, but he's flicked it wide to Ferrer. Caminero. He stopped running. You're pointing wrong.
Yeah, I just seen now the physiotherapists or whatever on the Spanish bench have all been racing frantically on the touchline. I see Salinas is now, you know, they're getting bang warming up now. He looks very much as if he's going to be on shortly.
With the header, won by Tassotti. Otero now for Spain. Luis Enrique. Becerra.
Clemente, if he wanted to get more positive and more attacking play, he could actually pull off one of his left-siders, be it Otero or Sergi, and put Luis Enrique, who is very comfortable on the left-hand side, put him out there more as an orthodox left winger and bring Salinas on as the battering ram up the middle.
It's Nadal. Racing for this one. Benarivo, Maldini there just in time. The first semblance of a mistake actually that number 3 Benarivo has made, and Goycochea was so close to getting onto it. Becerra. Goal kick to Italy.
They haven't really produced anything since they come out after half-time, the Spanish side, but I just wonder whether, we know the Italians always have that great belief that nobody can score by them. And I just wonder whether the Italians are sort of saying, come on to us a little bit, we'll play deep. And I don't like this Italian team doing that. I think this Italian team is far better when it plays positively. Now, whether that's the case, whether it's by intention or by design, or whether the Spanish have pushed them back a little bit.
For Conte at the moment. Tassotti on the far side, trying to get Massaro away. Vaquero. Sergi playing it in, Luis Enrique fell there, the referee had a look at it, but I don't think there was ever any thought that Mr. Poole would have given a penalty there. A few Spanish whistles around the Foxborough Stadium. Here comes Spain again though. Again is little Sergi on the far side. Slightly outnumbered, do you think? Conte and Costa Curta. Free kick given. Spain trying to make something of it. And a shot there from the number 5, Abelardo, charged down. And a corner.
Definitely feel, Brian, that Italy are sitting back too deep. They're inviting the Spanish to build up on them. And, you know, it only needs one quality ball into the box. People like Kim Caminero, good headers of the ball. This, as I've said, is a situation I don't like the Spanish in corners. Sorry, the Italians in. I think the Italians don't over-defend well against corners. Always look suspect.
Well, Abelardo probably did the Italians a favour there, because Nadal, just as he didn't do in the last stages of the first half, was now roaring in to get on the end of this one, as you could see. And Abelardo got somewhat in the way and got a bang on the back of his head through his planes. Goal kick then to Italy. Pagliuca with it. Caminero. Alcorta. Feder. Nadal. Abelardo. Oh, that was a poor ball again. It gives Italy a chance to break. Massaro just flicked there, just got there first, but the flick was aimed at Roberto Baggio. But his marker Alcorta was doing his work well. Nadal. There. That's a foul by Maldini on Luis Enrique. And from Real Madrid. Oh, and then a total waste of a free kick. And Goycochea just wasn't aware of what was on there. I think it was General Bill Nicholson who used to say, when the ball goes dead, good players come alive. And Goycochea just didn't come alive. Nadal gets it back. Otero. Nadal. Well, little chip played in there for number 15, Caminero. And here's another break for Spain. A deep across this time towards Goycochea. Tried to touch it down, but nothing was happening there for him. And Massaro eventually gets in there, just steers it away to safety. Donadoni doesn't find Signori. And there's a Spaniard, Nadal, who is right up there, down and injured. And in fact, an Italian player was calling for help for him as Goycochea plays it in. Pagliuca with a good save catch.
I must say, I think the Italians are playing a dangerous game at the moment. They look very lackluster. You know, we thought that was something we attached to the Spanish side in the first half. And now all of a sudden, the Italians seem to have lost their zip.
And this isn't anything like as hot as it has been. I mean, we're sitting out in the open here, Ron, and I mean, it's a very pleasant sort of 20 past 1 lunchtime. That's nothing like the heat that these players have had in previous games. 74 degrees, we're told. Here's Signori. Otero there first. Vaquero now for Spain. Sergi. And still with Sergi. Oh, Otero missed it. And it's a goal! Caminero! 1-1. Deflected off a defender. A Caminero shot. Dangerous game that Italy were playing, as Ron was saying. That proves the point.
Doesn't mean they've been fighting. Italy have invited the Spanish team back into the game. There's a bit of awkward defending there. The ball zipped across it. Goicoechea misses it. He actually has been the main threat all game, Caminero. He's the one that always looks as if he might score a goal. Well, I see Costa Curtis is not solid there. That's poor defending. Well, he's a bit unlucky there that he catches Benorido, but
well, it's his third game. And Spain making a substitution, or have made a substitution. Sergi is off. Salinas will be coming in. A corner for Italy. Bini comes up from the back. Signori will take it. They're really lining up the big men for that. Roberto Baggio playing it back in again. Massaro chasing this one.
Well, they've gone into a far more positive shape now of Spain. Salinas gone up the field as the main man, and Luis Enrique gone out into his more familiar club position.
Salinas, who can't even get into the Barcelona side. Can do certainly a big job for his country here this afternoon. Vaquero. Salinas, big rough, tough number 19 there. Sprawling all over you, but with a terrific eye for goal.
I don't think Costa Curta or Paolo Maldini are particularly happy when somebody's putting stick about. They like it when it's all nice and tidy and no real physical contact.
Luis Enrique. Vaquero. Spain looking much more businesslike now. Goicoechea with a shot! Fisted away well by Pagliuca. Well, it's Spain who are putting all the pressure now.
Goicoechea first time blasts away. Pagliuca diving to his right, showing us some textbook goalkeeping by parrying the ball out.
Goalkeeper now in the Italian half of the field. A much more positive attitude now. Great work there by Pagliuca. Free kick which Ferrer will take for Spain. Salinas will be the man he aims for, but his aim was way off there, and it was an easy one for Pagliuca. Massaro.
far side. Trying to get it back again, but the Italians bang it away towards the halfway line.
I mean, that was once again the outcome of some very, very sloppy defending by Conte that time. And it looks as if Saki's going to bring another defender on, Brian.
Yep. Apolloni's coming on. The Parma defender. But who do you guess he might take off?
Well, you wonder if it's tactical, or whether whether he's going to try and shore up the defence, whether
Jose Luis Caminero,
or whether
scores
one of his defenders
early, and we're all even, Italy and Spain.
JVC.
Baquero's going to be a straight swap.
Baquero's coming on for Baquero. See who it was, which Italian player it is who's gone down there, but Sacchi is obviously scratching his head now, looking to see how he can pull this game back round Italy's way. Baquero's on. On the ball now for Spain. Well, Spain, who by reputation throughout this World Cup have been such strong, quick starters, reverse the role now. They started so sluggishly, went a goal behind, and now certainly look the business. Another free kick for them.
Well, at the moment, Sacchi doesn't quite know what he's doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't appear to know what he's doing. He wants to bring one player on, now he's changing it for another.
Here comes Spain again, meantime. Blue shirts are filing back. That's no problem there for Pagliuca.
Well, the game's changed right round now, hasn't it? I mean, it's Spain are making all the running. They've got their most positive team on the field now. There he goes. Luis Enrique past the post.
And Conte, who was injured, can now come back on. Another substitution. Italy are bringing on their number 14, Nicola Berti. And taking off Conte. Well, Conte's already off, so Berti comes on. You weren't that impressed by him the last time you saw him.
He had a nightmare. But to be fair to him, I always think he's better when he plays in a more central midfield area. Trying to play him as a sort of right-sided midfield.
Well, that's where he is now.
There now, yeah. I mean, obviously, Sacchi knows more about him than I do. But he wasn't impressive, let's say that, in the game against Nigeria.
There he is, Nicola Berti from Inter Milan. Struggling to get past Otero, but Italy get a throw.
I think what he's done, Brian, as well, by virtue of the fact they've always had the problems when they play Signori in a wide area. It takes something away from the midfield players. They lose that strength in midfield. Now, by the virtue of the fact he's going to play Berti wide on the right, Signori wide on the left, it's throwing a big responsibility on Donadoni and Dino Baggio, and at the moment, that's where Spain are having all their play.
Caminero finding Otero. Back to Nadal. Who's already picked up a yellow card this afternoon. Oh, and Maldini spotting that and getting in quickly. Donadoni with a poor ball again as Italy try to get forward once again. And it's Goycochea for Spain. That'll be a goal kick.
Well, Signori came to this tournament with a reputation, leading goal scorer, whatever, in Premier A, Serie A, and quite honestly, he's been so ineffective. Just watched his resistance level there. Ferrer just brushed past him, knocked it out of his feet, and Signori just didn't let him get on with it. And that's really not what Italy are looking for now, having surrendered the game.
There he is again. Signori not really getting in at all. Hierro getting the better of him. Here's Hierro again to Abelardo. quarter. The throw to Italy. But Spain slowly but surely at this moment taking over the game.
Well, they're well in command, aren't they? Well in command, and I think it's been handed to them on a plate. I think they've come out and raised their tempo somewhat, but I think Italy have just said, sit back now and let them come on to us, and we'll break them down hit on the counter. And to be fair, they've never done that. The ball's hardly stuck upfield at the moment. Massaro, Signori, Roberto Baggio have kept nothing up the field.
Donadoni to Signori. Played forward again by Benarivo. Donadoni. See Donadoni down the flank, actually. Oh, and there's Dino Baggio to Roberto Baggio. Just a little inkling there that if Spain lose their concentration for a moment, Italy still have the quality to exploit it. Piero. They're pushing forward everywhere now. Salinas is in the middle there, along with Caminero. Otero down the left flank, Ron.
Yeah, there's very little resistance in there. I mean, you're right about Donadoni. I mean, I thought against Nigeria, a lot of people got more praise, but I thought it was only when he went onto the right-hand side that Italy started to look balanced and it developed the ball a lot more. Now in the middle, he just gets overrun. He's not a powerhouse player. He's not a great energy level. He's a quality skill player in doing the things he did when he set the first goal up.
Massaro doing the hustling, but Piero still keeping possession, but the ball inside Benarivo was just hit a little too firmly for Goycochea, number 7.
I think this will probably be the first game Goycochea's gone the distance. He's been one of those that Clementi's tended to pull off and withdraw after about an hour or so.
Salinas. Number 19, a throw to Spain. Albert Ferrer from Barcelona with it. And in the end, Benarivo gets it away. It's the tall Nadal there, holding the fort at the back for Spain. And there was a shove actually there by Luis Enrique on Tassotti.
Of course, we also thought, after Italy's efforts against Nigeria, that fatigue could well set in. So it was important that they held that lead until the latter stages of the game. Now they're looking down the barrel. From a game you would have thought that the opposition were virtually out of.
At half-time, they looked beautifully in command. They looked so composed, didn't they?
But it does look, doesn't it, even when it does look as if they've got into that relaxed frame of mind. You know, sometimes you try to guard against it, but for me, it looks very much as that's the problem. They're sloppy with the passing. They haven't really sprinted. That's better. That's sharp.
That's Signori and Massaro. Baggio. This is a better break. Berti coming in there, but Spain just holding them off, and Adelado. Just when it looked for a moment that Spain might get caught out in their own penalty area.
But when you almost commit 4 players to attack, which in effect Italy have done, it's so important that they keep the ball, put their passes in, give the midfield and the back 4 some response. At the moment, everything's coming straight back at the Italians.
Piero. It's a lovely ball he's played. Costa Curta will cut this one out for Italy. Down the line there towards Berti. Played inside now for Dino Baggio. Here's Maldini. Massaro's up ahead of him. Donadoni going through the middle again. Signori even crept into the midfield areas. But here's Benarivo on one of his runs. Comes to Signori again. Sure, that's not where the Italian fans want to see him. And Otero now takes possession for Spain.
played out some good balls, Hierro, since he came on for Baquero.
He's been their best player, Brian, for by a million miles coming out of. He's looked at threats when it's developed from these wide areas.
Montero. Might be a struggle for Goycochea. It is. It's a throw for Italy.
I think as you see the game develop as well, you know, Hierro's gone virtually into that central holding position that Baquero was doing. I think you'll see him start flying into the box and using his power and head work in there.
Tassotti. Up to Berti. Free kick to Italy. A much more sensible refereeing performance this afternoon, Ron.
Yeah. With all fairness, he hasn't had too many controversial situations to deal with, but sometimes referees make that themselves, don't they? You're spot on there.
They so often make it trouble for themselves if they start brandishing too many yellow cards too early on and set the wrong sort of standards. Well, it's a corner for Italy. This is Nicola Berti, and there goes Signori to take the corner. Benarivo's in the box. Dino Baggio for sure is in the box. Berti as well. Maldini's come up from the back. Lurking outside the box is Roberto Baggio. So here comes Signori's corner. Curled in. Hierro got his head to that. Helped by Nadal. You'd always expect Nadal to win that sort of challenge in the air. Salinas sends Goycochea. Hierro's made a terrific blast through the middle for them as well. It deflected off a defender. That was a poor finish. And it was little reward for the run that Hierro and Salinas had made. Just saw the old glory lights there for a moment, did Goycochea. But he's got a corner.
I mean, if they pull this off now, Spain, you know, Clemente will be hailed as the greatest tactician of all time. That he will say that he waited and waited and then threw on his power players, Salinas and Hierro, when the Italians tired.
Would you believe it? Here's the corner. Held in, Panuca. Would you believe him?
Well, it may be a game plan. I say he does think very deeply. He's a great tactical man in that respect, and you know, it wouldn't be beyond him to say, look, we'll keep the game fairly even paced early on, and then we'll drive it in the latter stages of the game. And necessity forced him to do that.
Now Dino Baggio again. Massaro was quickly in on that scene, and it was as well for Spain that Ferrer just took emergency action and walloped it across the penalty area and out on the far side.
They're looking a lot of the Italian players are looking bedraggled at the moment. That's why it's important for them when they get possession, just to keep moving the ball amongst themselves.
Tassotti. And Berti tipped away. Zubizarreta just flicking it over the crossbar. Berti perhaps didn't get quite the power on it that he wanted.
That's a good ball in there, isn't it? He's hit it too early into the ground, unfortunately.
A corner for Italy. Berti again, this time a goal kick. Zubizarreta, such an experienced goalkeeper.
Will it go to an extra 30 minutes? We'll find out.
As we saw, it makes it a much more routine save for a goalkeeper such as Zubizarreta.
Pagliuca's been the more tested of the two goalkeepers today. He's made 7 saves as Zubizarreta's 2. They've both given up 1. A couple of one touches as Italy moves across. Berti with Benarivo behind him, and Benarivo was absolutely exasperated that Berti did what he did.
Explaining that he felt that Berti had made rather a lot of it. Just reminding you, of course, that the Spaniards had 3 days more rest than the Italians leading up to this game. We were saying at the start that might just be a telling factor in the later stages. The Spaniards played their last game last Saturday, and the Italians on Tuesday.
Strange thing is, though, the Italians seem to die immediately after the restart. Now, that's not the time you would have thought the stage of the game they'd have been saying, come on.
Piero finding Goycochea. Salinas. Oh, he's done well here. For a moment it looked as though his control had let him down, or lack of it. Italy get it away. Berti. Aldini. Tonadoni spreading it wide towards Massaro. Berti. Dino Baggio. And Massaro. Referee spreads his arms wide as Massaro goes down. He saw the whites just for a moment of Zubizarreta's eyes. And of course he beat Zubi twice in the European Cup final. What do you think, Ron?
First reaction was there's no danger of it not being a penalty.
Looking at that,
it seems as if he has caught him on the leg a little bit.
Here comes Spain again. Alcorta. Their throw. Ferrer. Not see whether that's a throw or a corner. It's going to be a throw, which Albert Ferrer will take. Good long throw. He's not a very big man, but that was an excellent, effortless throw to the heart of the penalty area. Nadal. And you wouldn't recognize Spain from the first half. Ferrer. Estacota with a header clear, but not all that clear. Vieira still keeps possession. No, lost it. Yes, he got it back again. Played wide again for Otero on the far side. Here comes Spain again. Salinas is in the middle, but Otero did too much. Goal kick. 10 minutes left. Extra time beginning to beckon.
Saki's just passed the message on. He's switching his wide midfield players over now. Signori's going to occupy the right, and Berti's going to play up at this left-hand side. I thought it might have been better sticking Berti in a more central area and putting Donadoni back to flank position.
Couldn't agree more.
Very little resistance level in there now. You know, the Spanish team, when they do work the ball through midfield, they're coming through just as and when they want.
And that shot of Benarivo there. There's a little bit of anxiety now spread across Italian faces. As Ferrer lifts the ball again towards that Italian penalty area. And Luis Enrique, there was a lack of understanding there, which is very unusual. Well, they get it back again. Signori right back there. Aldini. It's much better for Italy. Played there towards Roberto Baggio. Spain get it away. In the end, quite comfortably. Ferrer taking it on. And an offside flag, I think, up against Salinas. The referee saying play on. Signori going through the middle now. Massaro. Chasing it. The flag had stayed down. And the flag has stayed down again even for that, although Costa Curta thought that Caminero was making a meal of that one. But that was a great
chance there for Salinas. Ron?
I just can't believe. I tell you what, Salinas won't know then. After the through ball, when he's gone through on the through ball, he can't believe. He won't believe. He wasn't offside in my book, by the way. He can't believe how far the keeper's gone back. And the keeper's been dead jammy there. It was Caminero. I thought once he turned inside, he was going to get a shot on an open goal as well. But the keeper's been very, very fortunate. He's backed off when he should have come forward and cleaned it out. And by backing off, he's got, I think, he caught Salinas in two minds.
Well, Salinas has now turned physio. It's obviously a bit of cramp that Caminero's got. There's the fortunate Pagliuca.
See, at the last minute, Brian, he was going to shoot Salinas. At the last minute, he looks as if he's tried to just turn across the goalkeeper. But that was a let-off indeed. But I have to say, unless Italy start putting some passes together and holding the ball higher up the park, retaining possession, I really can't. I think it's a game they'll regret. I think it's a game they will feel they'll throw away.
Mind you, Spain won't want to be losing this man, Caminero.
He'll be back on. He'll be back on, no danger.
I thought this would be a ludicrous system, actually, stretchers and one thing and another, taking players off, but that's worked.
I think it's
been
brilliant.
Really well.
It's been brilliant. I'll tell you what it does do. It stops those players that infuriate the crowd. And
that's right.
People that just go down for the sake of going down.
Let's hope we can get that into our game next season. Would you be glad to see that in our game next season as a manager yourself?
Certainly I would. I mean, you've got the exceptions where and a referee can recognise that when a player's got a cut head or something, or a broken leg or something. You know, the absolute serious one.
That's over the top and was always going there. From Hierro.
I would say the biggest single difference, Brian, at the moment with the two sides is, or certainly the Spanish side from the first half, that's a good effort. That's got a good hand on that, Pagliuca. Is that you now get the feeling the Spanish team think it's theirs for the taking. I mean, that may even have been Clemente's sort of thinking in his substitutions. He put two power substitutes on.
Berkachir with the corner. Caminero still off the field. He hoists a deeper one this time towards Nadal. That was a good one and headed off the line by Costa Curta. It's there for the taking, but there's no doubt about it that the Spaniards are really asking, as they say, all the questions now. Costa Curta was the saviour. Here comes another corner, flung it again. Oh, and Pagliuca's lost it. And looked to be under no great pressure, I felt.
I think that typifies what's happening to them at the moment. All of a sudden, they've seen the game disappearing from them. And I'm amazed, actually, at the nerves going of so many top players.
This was Costa Curta's clearance off the line.
Nadal's done brilliant there, hasn't he, from the corner? Just kept the thing in the box and said, go on. I tell you what, if Caminero stayed up, still been on the field, he'd have probably got into that one. That's the area he's been operating in.
Throw to Spain. Hierro on the ball. About 4 minutes of the game left.
I mean, the only thing I can really say in Italy's favour, particularly if it goes to extra time, the way the game is now, is they've dug themselves out of so many holes in this tournament. Is this another one they're going to dig themselves in? Because they're not suggesting they're going to play the way out of it at the moment. I mean, we've seen little Massara, little Baggio. And I think their problems go when they have to bring Signori into that wide position. I think a lot of their problems emanated from that.
Donadoni, Berti. Stopped by Nadal, who's been a real big, strong man at the heart of that Spanish defence all afternoon. That's a lovely ball he plays now for Goycochea. Salinas is waiting in the middle, but he won't even get there, thanks to Benariva's work. Donadoni playing it forward to Berti. Signori's made a blasting run through the middle here now, and he takes it on. There's a great chance now for Baggio to finish it off, and he has. Roberto Baggio! And his teammates sprint 40 yards to embrace him. Great work by Signori. And the Italians have dug themselves out of another hole. That man Baggio again.
Brian, if it stays like this, I think we've got to go straight down the bookmakers after the game and get money on them. can be. I mean, that's a good ball of Berti's. Signori cleans it, lobs it over the lad's head. Referee's done well there because he hasn't blown for the obvious free kick.
And he's done really well here.
I thought he'd gone too far, you know, Brian.
Shades of Mark Hughes in that European Cup Winners' Cup final for Manchester United against Barcelona a year or two back.
That's a foul there. Now, normally, the referee stops there, but to be fair, full marks to the referee, full marks to Baggio.
Wonderful.
Hasn't had a kick this half, except the one that might be the all-important.
Coming, and he knows what that goal means to his team.
Roberto Baggio with his third goal of the Cup, but a third in the last 2 games. He did it in the 89th minute against Nigeria. And he's done it again here against Spain. They lead it 2-1.
Well, he's got to be the go-to guy because he has the ability to create things on his own. He ultimately got a wonderful pass. But of course, there was more to it than just playing the pass. He had to beat a goalkeeper and a couple defenders getting back. And a man of his abilities, such as Roberto
Baggio, because of his pretty in-and-out form since he came here until the last game. But he's certainly having the last answer now. The Spaniards claiming it was their ball.
That's why Juventus was willing to pay $21 million to get him on their team.
The World Player of the Year for Nigeria.
There's no holding Roberto Baggio back there. Acrobatics and a super goal. Maldini jumping and winning. Goycochea turning it in again. Pagliuca's catch. Well inside the last minute of the game, and Sacchi, the Italian manager. It's a free kick to Italy, I think.
Just thinking there, the ironic thing about that is that you said that Baggio's been well criticised. The 2 substitutes, Berti and Signori, both had, for me, nightmarish tournaments. And yet they're the players who've got the winning, or what appears to be the winning arm. I'd actually nearly mentioned it earlier, saying Berti's hardly put a foot right, just trying to flip in the through ball.
Well, I wonder if they were taking a poll in Italy tonight, if this score stays this way, whether 84% would want Sacchi fired as the Italian team manager. But there's still work to be done. We're in time added on, right at the end of this game, which has really come to life in this second half. And Italy get it away again. Tassotti. It'll come for Berti now. There's his header, trying to get a bit of ground on it. A touch from Massaro, and Signori didn't quite get possession of it. Tassotti, the old Milan warhorse, makes a simple ball to his teammate Costa Curta. Donadoni, 3 Milan players there, combining, played inside again for Signori. Spain naturally look a very disheartened side at the moment.
Tell you what, Signori's got a great opportunity then to ease the ball wide and them to keep possession till the final whistle.
Well into time added on, almost 2 minutes of it. Otero. Nadal's gone up. The flag is up for an offside against Goycochea. Italy, 3 times winners of the World Cup.
I mean, that would have been a booking, wouldn't it, normally, there, Brian?
Great piece of skill. Salinas. Here's Tassotti, the fullback. Signori. He's got another chance to play that ball down towards the corner flag if the Italians want to do it, but no, he's looking for something more positive, doesn't get it, and it comes to Zubizarreta. It's an offside, in fact, against Massaro. Here's Hierro now for Spain. They've got to hit it long and hope for the best. Nadal has gone right up there and staying up there and turns it in well. Pagliuca made the catch. They found Signori with it. This is Tassotti. Still with Tassotti. Gets it to Berti. Benarivo's gone down the outside for him. Massaro's waiting in the middle for him. And in the end,
to give it away. And really, Benarivo has got to get back now to do some defending. Caminero on the ball now, the dangerous man for Spain. Still, though, final whistle as Goycochea plays it in again. Paliuca started to come and then he went. Spaniard fell to the floor, but the referee didn't want to know about that. It's going to be a throw to Italy on the far side. Just over 3 minutes of time added on. Oh, some fun and games there on the field.
Well, and as the ball came across, Luis Enrique is of the opinion that Tassotti has nutted him or elbowed him. I think he felt he elbowed him from the deep cross of Goycochea's.
Well, there's Tassotti being pulled away from that situation by Paliuca. Luis Enrique's gone down.
Tell you what, one minute this does me. 1 minute he's lying down as if he's knocked unconscious, then he stands up to argue and then goes down again. I think that's a bit of a sympathy count, that.
It is to see what the referee does with Tassotti, whether in fact he saw anything.
I wouldn't have thought to say. I wouldn't have thought. Watch this deep cross now. You see him there. He's just had a little elbow on Luis Enrique there in the back.
Oh yes.
But now he's gone down and he gets up and chases him. Now if you're knocked out, you're knocked out. I can't see how you get up and chase somebody when you're knocked out.
Well, he's saying something not very complimentary to the Italian number 9, Tassotti.
Tassotti, been there, seen it, done it, knows he won't get a Christmas card off Luis
and
Enrique.
Seen it and done it 1,000 times, the 34-year-old. Well, the referee appears not to have taken any action at all.
I'll tell you what, though, I wonder what FIFA will say, having studied the videos of that. No question is that Tassotti's had a whack at Luis Enrique.
Yeah. Well, certainly a controversial end to a game that looks likely to put Italy into the semi-finals of the 1994 World Cup. And the referee's had an excellent game, and he must be feeling deep down, maybe I've missed something fairly important there. But he certainly doesn't, as far as I can see, seem to administer either a yellow, certainly hasn't offered a red, even a yellow card to the Italian right-back Tassotti. Here comes Spain again, long-range shot, charge down, Otero again. It's going to be a goal kick, is it? Can't believe that. 5 minutes of time added on. Spain going to save it here now. Paliuca under enormous pressure there. Pushes it away for another corner, is it? Or is it a free kick to Italy? Another corner given. Nasty one there, curling in under the crossbar. And here comes another one of them. Paliuca. Defiant goalkeeping there by the man from Sampdoria. And the throw out to Daniel Massara.
This stay with blue shirts now to a full-time run.
Benarivo. No foul. They don't seem to be able to get hold of it and hold on to it, but they don't have to anymore. Italy go. Look, puffed down his cheeks there to Sacchi, the Italian manager. And Roberto Baggio, the man who scored the winner, just as he did in the last game, that from the penalty spot against Nigeria. And celebrate in style, Signori, the man who put him in for that winning goal. As Italy go into the World Cup semi-finals, and Spain, after looking so good for so much of the second half, go out. Luis Enrique goes off with blood after that clash with Tassotti, and disappointment written over all those Spanish faces after they played so well for much of the second half. The delight for Roberto Baggio, and Dino Baggio having scored the first for Italy, Caminero having equalized for Spain. But Roberto Baggio and Italy have the last word. And the Italian fans everywhere are...
Roberto Baggio, who was silent for so long prior to the game against Nigeria when he scored 2.
From the Spanish defense.
And Rick, you said hard enough. His whole body was off the ground when he let that ball go, and Arrigo Sacchi was able to celebrate. For all the people who have knocked him down, he's moved up a notch into this World Cup. He'll now be part of the Final Four. Well, At times, it was an extremely flat match. They played so often in midfield, the Italians waited for that one moment to strike. When they looked like they had nothing left, Roberto Baggio did. 2-1 Italy as they advance to the semifinals. With Rick Davis, I'm Al Troutwig. Let's go to Jim McKay.